Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us at the event and for attending this session. Presenting today is Mary. She is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant at Astute Immigration and Consulting Services, and her topic for today is Study in Canada, which you can see in her presentation there. Mary is a fully licensed and in good standing with the Immigration Consultants of Canada Regulatory Council, and she is also a member of the Canadian Association of Professional Immigration Consultant. Mary's a lifelong learner with lived and professional experience in communication, customer service, administration, and immigration consulting. Good presentation, Mary. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Sandra.
Well, thanks.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm not sure if I can see everyone here. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So hi, everyone. It's nice to have you here at my session. And today we'll be talking about studying in Canada. As Sandra just introduced me, I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. And today we will go through pretty much things you need to know about studying in Canada, why you should choose Canada as your study destination, and also things to avoid when submitting that application. So first, I will. I hope everyone can see my slide, and feel free to send me a message in the chat if you have questions. You can post that in the chat as well. Hi, Jeffrey. Hi, Emmanuel. Nice to connect with you guys here. So, so just to let you know that this presentation and workshop is non-exhaustive and it's pretty much for general information. If you're looking for more specific information or about a particular situation, it's best that you reach out to me directly. And to reach out to me, you can reach out to me by email through my email address, info@askastute.com, or send me a message on WhatsApp. It's 647-269-1509. And I will share all of this in the chat as we go along, okay? A little bit about me. Since we're talking about studying in Canada, like, have I been a student as well? Yes, I have. And as Sandra mentioned, I am a lifelong learner. So I am from Nigeria. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. And I started my, well, let's just keep the high school journey. So I started off from the University of Lagos in Nigeria. I studied mass communication and then moved to Canada in 2014 to study advertising and marketing communication at Loyalist College, before then taking my immigration practitioner program, which has provided me with the license to advise you as an immigration consultant. And then I also took an entrepreneurship excellence certificate program at Conestoga College. So I've moved on from being an international student in Canada to being a temporary foreign worker, became a permanent resident, and right now I'm just waiting to for my citizenship application to go through. So when I speak to my clients, I just tell them, like, I understand where you're coming from. I've been there. I've experienced this. So it's easy, and I can always relate. Like, even the weight and all of that, I can relate with clients. So some of the things that you will find us doing at Astute Immigration is that we help clients with visitors visas, with study permit applications, with work permit applications, permanent residence, citizenship, and a host of all others, because then there's business immigration and all other pieces and parts of immigration. I see some other people joining us, so you can send me a message in the chat if you have questions. We'll take questions at the end of the session. Then we'll have like 5 to 10 minutes to just go over some questions here, okay? So, so if you want to come to Canada to study, you're either coming in to study as a primary school student or a secondary or high school student. Some people would also, for your children, sometimes you might want to think of the grade 11 or grade 12. If you're from Nigeria, that would be like your SS1 or SS2 or SS3, just the last few years of school so that you can get into a college or get into a university. And then if you go into a college, you're probably looking at a diploma, an advanced diploma, or a certificate program, or you're also or you can also be thinking about degree programs. So you might want to be taking a bachelor's, like on an undergrad, master's, undergraduate. So we have all of this in Canada, depending on whatever it is you're looking to study. We have all of that in Canada, and there are lots and lots of great schools to choose from to help you with your study journey in Canada. And then you're wondering, like, why choose Canada? There's so many other countries that you might want to go to that offer a quality education. But then, and I would say this even for myself, like the few things that made me choose Canada was its diversity. Canada is really diverse in the culture and the people, very welcoming people. You meet lots and lots of people from all walks of life, and even the networking opportunities, like I've highlighted here as well, like you get to connect with people and explore. Also for international students are allowed to work for 20 hours per week. So during school period, if you're in a college or university, you're allowed to work for 20 hours per week. You can also be eligible for a post-graduation work permit upon graduation. So those are some of like the key benefits that many people benefit from when you study in Canada. Also, right now, Canada is the number one when it comes to quality of life around the world. Like it's just a wonderful place for immigrants. That's what I would say, and newcomers. And so for you to study in Canada, there's certain requirements that you need to meet. So the first thing is that you need to meet the school's admission requirements. And this varies from school to school. There's no one peculiar thing, but then the main document you're looking to obtain from the school upon getting admitted to because then the letter of acceptance is what you need to apply for immigration. When you're applying for immigration, will be that you're applying for your study visa. It's actually the study permits, but like many people refer to it as the study visa. And then for some people who are not English speakers, like if you're coming from a country where English is not your first language, or your language of instruction for your school was not in English, then you probably need a language test. And usually most schools would accept the IELTS or the or TOEFL test. Some other requirements, like if you're taking a master's program, for instance, you might need to take a GRE exam or a GMAT exam. So depending on whatever the school's requirements are, as long as you meet those requirements, you meet their CGPA, their cumulative grade point score, you should be good. And then some of the other documents would be that they need to see your transcripts, they need to see your degree certificates. If you're looking to do a postgraduate program, they need to see all of that. Even if you're going to a high school, like provide your transcript. Every school would have requests for your transcripts. And then you also want to start thinking about your financial resources, like where is that coming from? Are you being sponsored? Do you have like bank statements that are detailed enough for, sometimes you might even need to provide your bank statement for 1 year. There's also like GICs that, which is guaranteed investment certificates that you can get from Canadian banks, and to show proof that you have some money in Canada, you have an account in Canada, just to convince the officer that you are ready to study in Canada. And then like moving on from there, like there's certain things you want to consider when choosing a school in Canada. So regardless of what level of school you're going to, like be it college or university, you want to be sure that the school has a designated learning institution number. So for primary and secondary school students, you don't need a designated learning institution number to study in Canada. But for everyone else, accepting international students into the school, they definitely need to have that. So you want to check with the school to be sure that they have a DLI number before you enroll in that school. You also want to check, I know like for most people, coming in as a student is not just this, like you want to stay in Canada permanently. And for you to do that, you need a work permit, and then probably work for a year and then use that pathway to permanent residency. So when you're looking at that, you want to be ensure that the program you're going for, or the school you're going to, this is for college or university students now, not high school. Like the school you're going to would allow you get a work permit after graduation. Again, like your budget is also very important. You want to know, okay, this is what the tuition of that school is. Is that something you can afford? Living expenses, right now, living expenses should be anywhere between 10,000 Canadian dollars to 15, like whatever it is, that it should be at least 10,000 that you can show to the immigration officer that you have available for at least 1 year of study. So aside your tuition, you also need to have your living expenses. And then also you probably want to think of, this is you thinking ahead, like thinking about the standard of living in the city where your school is located, the employment opportunities, and even like your course of study, like after studying, like what occupations are available to you, like are they going to be in demand and that kind of thing. So just thinking ahead, like not just thinking of, oh yeah, I just want to get admission into Canada. You also want to think ahead, like what's your long-term plan, like what's your five-year plan. Okay, and regardless of putting all those things together, or like having your letter of acceptance, putting all your documents together, there's certain reasons why a visa officer will refuse your application. And what you want to do is submit an application to ensure that it's approved. So for you to do that, you need to make sure that you're refuting any reasons that the officer might say, oh, we're not approving this application, or this application is not good enough. And some common things that we see sometimes as consultants is your family ties. So family ties could be your family ties in Canada, your family ties in your home country. So it could be a situation where you don't have a strong tie, and then they can come up with that and say, well, this is our reason for refusing your application. Sometimes for travel history, it's both ways. It could be lack of travel history, or the fact that you traveled and you stayed longer than you were supposed to stay in a particular country. So they look at all those things because those are questions they would ask you, and you need to list that in your application. A study plan. There's some. You might not be explicitly asked for a study plan, but sometimes, or most times, it's important that you include a study plan in your application. Even if you plan to stay in Canada permanently, it's very, very crucial that you include a study plan in your application. Your study plan is what some people call statement of purpose, but at the point, you have a different audience, and your audience is the immigration officer. You're trying to convince the officer that you're going to come into Canada, study, and leave after your authorized period of stay. Even if you want to stay for a longer period of time, it's important that you have a plan, that you have a reason to go back to your own country. Because if you, it's a temporary application, it's not a permanent application. So you need to make sure that you are putting a detailed note to the officer and explaining how you plan to come in. Use that course of study for or that knowledge, like whatever that knowledge is going to be beneficial to you in your own country and not here in Canada, even though we still want people to come, like we're still welcoming lots of people to come into Canada. And then some people have incomplete applications, like some people would not submit all the documents that are required of them. Right now, everything is being done online. So I think it's easier for people to see all the documents that are required of them and pull them through. I feel like the incomplete application sometimes could happen when you submit a paper application. Then inconsistencies. So let's say, for instance, you have like a graduation date of 2015 here, and then maybe you include your resume or your CV in your application, and then you put 2016. Like I've seen those scenarios, right? So making sure that your dates, everything checks properly, like when the dates you use when you're applying for school is similar to the dates that you're using in your application for immigration. It's important that you stay consistent all through. And then sometimes people forget to declare their previous applications. They might have applied to Canada before or applied to a different country, mostly maybe the US, the United Kingdom. Like, make sure you're talking about every application that you've made, like travel plans and all of that. And then admissibility. This is very, very crucial in your application. So admissibility pretty much is that if you meet all the requirements to be in Canada, you also need to pass the admissibility test. And the admissibility test is on 3 factors: your finances, your health, and your criminal admissibility. So for finances, it means that you have enough money to pay for your tuition and your living expenses. Remember, I mentioned that you need to budget. So this is pretty much what this is. So they look at all the spaces and say, okay, does this person meet all those requirements for us to approve the application or not? So this is very, very crucial that you have enough money to show without depending on any welfare in Canada to cover the cost of your tuition. Usually they ask that you show at least for 1 year. And then medical admissibility, it's important as well that usually you would, if you're coming to study in Canada for more than 6 months, you're required to take a medical test. And for different countries, they have like panel physicians where you have to go take the test. So you can't just go to your family doctor to take a test or run those tests. Canada has designated people called panel physicians that will do those tests, run those tests. They include x-rays, blood works, and all of that, to check to be sure that you don't have any ailments or sickness that would make you depend on the country, like the taxpayers' money, to care for yourself while you're in the country. So, and then there's criminal admissibility too. So if you've committed any crime or been convicted of any crime, sometimes there's certain crimes in certain countries that might not lead to a conviction or anything, but it might actually be a crime in Canada. So you want to check that. So if those things are in your records, like there'll be a criminal record check that would be requested of you, or your police certificate from your home country. And then you also get to do biometrics. For many people, you also need to do, which is like a fingerprinting with your pictures and all of that. And then they can see if you have any criminal record on file. If you do, depending on what it is, you may not be able to come into Canada. Then a big one outside of this all admissibility factors is misrepresentation. Many people sometimes would, and sometimes it even comes with those inconsistencies. Some people would provide fake documents, and oh yeah, thank you, Sandra. So yeah, so sometimes people would provide documents that are inaccurate, or because they want to meet with all the requirements, maybe doctors from some of their documents. It's important that you provide your own personal documents and that you don't allow anyone convince you or advise you to like present a doctored document, because if they find out, it leads to a penalty, and the penalty is a 5-year ban. So you can be banned for 5 years for providing inaccurate information or fake documents for immigration purpose, and it will remain on your file for a long period of time. So we want to avoid that. And the ban extends to any application, so like any application to Canada. So in case you are eligible to apply for permanent residency, for instance, or you're eligible for sponsorship, or family is supposed to sponsor you, if you're still within that 5-year ban period, then nothing can be done. You cannot apply to come into Canada. Okay, so I'll just leave room for questions if you have any questions, and then I'll stop sharing my screen. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put that in the chat. And like I said earlier, I'm going to share some of my links, so that way it's easy for you to contact me if you're looking for specific advice on studying in Canada. If you're looking, also double as an education consultant. So if you're looking for like the right school for yourself or for your children, feel free to reach out to me. My website is www.askastu.com. I will put that in the chat now, so that way you can easily get. And let's see. And then you can find me. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, and send me a WhatsApp message, quick email. I will be happy to like connect with you. So I'll just wait to see if there's anyone with questions for me. Or I was just an amazing presenter and you don't have any questions. Let's see. I'll just copy all of this and put it in on the chat. Okay. And then stop sharing my screen. Okay, I think we still have like 9 minutes here. So in case anyone has any question, just please put that in the chat. I don't see any. Okay. So if there are no questions, I feel like feel free to like reach out to me. I'm open to networking with people. I believe there's also another session by Rebecca Lee that just guides people on coming to like when you come to Canada, like the things you need to know about getting a job, the tips from a recruiter. So feel free to join that session as well. Let's see. Sure I can. Sure I can share that. And I see a question from Jeffrey. Oh, universities offering scholarships. So so as far as scholarship goes, it varies depending on the school you're applying to. Sometimes most of them are linked to your first semester scores. So when you get into the school, like for instance, some of my partner schools are offering scholarships. There's the University of Canada West that offers up to 10,000 scholarship to MBA students, for instance, if they have a 3.0 GPA out of 4.0. So depending on the school, you might be able to get some scholarships, or if you have an organization that's willing to sponsor you, then you might be able to get scholarships. So that's from Jeffrey. And the presentation, yeah, sure, I can share the presentation as well, if that's okay. I'm not sure, Sandra, I'm not sure what the best way would be to maybe share that. Yeah. Jeffrey, does that answer your question?
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Sandra.
Sorry, I kind of like went in there for a bit because I wasn't sure if we saw Jeffrey's question. But in terms of the presentation, I don't know if do you want maybe people to connect with you on LinkedIn, or do you want to give your email address for them to contact you? I'm just thinking maybe they want to look through the slides, and maybe from there, if they look through it again, they'll be able to ask more questions like after the event as well.
Sure. I can share the slides. So should I just share it here? Is it okay if I just share it here? I don't know if I can share.
I don't know. I mean, you can try sharing it here if you want to.
Yeah.
There's a link or a document or something that you can.
Yeah, it's a PowerPoint presentation. So yeah. Maybe I'll send that to you after the session. I'm not sure. Is there a way to upload it here?
I don't know if there would be a way. Let me see here. If there's anything in the chat. I don't really know if there would be a way to upload it here. I guess maybe for now it would be through, I guess, LinkedIn or your email, maybe. Because I don't actually know if through the chat we'd be able to, now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay, so I just dropped my my email address here. So it's info@askastute.com. And then anyone that is looking to like maybe get the slides, I can share it with them. So just reach out to me and just let me know, like, oh yeah, you joined my session and you're interested in the slides. I'll be happy to share with them. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And just before we go, I know we have about 5 minutes left. If maybe you can sum up your presentation and just go over a couple of key points from your presentation just to summarize everything.
Okay, yeah, sure. So pretty much what I would say for like anyone thinking of coming to Canada to study, like it's a rewarding, like it's gonna be a rewarding experience. That's just what I say. And what I tell people is, in as much as even if you don't know anyone in Canada, like Canada is really welcoming. The people are great. and you learn a lot. Not just you're not just studying in school. You're not just going into the school to study. You're also connecting with people, making lifelong friends, and also thinking more of getting into that work environment as well, like learning that culture and being able to integrate properly into Canada. So the knowledge you get from the schools are not just they don't just end there. Like you still get like transferred, you get all those transferable skills. And like I said, I cannot emphasize your study plan. Like work on your study plan, get a detailed study plan. It is not a statement of purpose that you write to the school. It's a study plan that you have to write to immigration. So it's important that you have a very detailed one. So quick one or tips for you for your study plan. You can keep it between 1 to 2 pages, and then also start off with just sharing your background a little bit, talking about your experience, link it to whatever it is you're trying to study, and then also say how it's beneficial to maybe your career path or your future ambitions. So let's say, for instance, you plan to start a business and you decide to go for an MBA program. Tell us what that business is. Maybe you already have like a registered name for your business, where you're trying to grow your business. So whatever that is, you want to link all of that together so the immigration officer understands that you genuinely want to come into the country to study and that you would leave after your authorized stay. It's okay to have a dual intent. It's okay that you changed your mind afterwards and decide to stay in Canada permanently, because Canada is amazing. It's awesome. Like, that's why I'm here. Like, after school, I remained here. So it's okay to do that. But at this point, it's important that you make it clear to them that you would be going back to your home country. Okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for your presentation. There's about 2 minutes left, so the viewers are able to go to the networking portion of our event, just on the left-hand side. And then we do have, I believe it's 1 or 2, I'm trying to think now if it's 1 or 2 more sessions coming up at 10 o'clock, and then at 10:30 we'll have a panel.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I guess no one else has any questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.